All right, so today I want to talk about this YouTuber slash content creator named Bape that some of y'all may be familiar with if you've been around long enough, right? He became extremely popular on social media back in the 2010s. Around 2015 to 2018. And his entire thing was to go around New York City and pretty much harass people that were wearing Supreme, right? Supreme was a clothing brand. It was super popular back then. I guess it's still kind of popular now, but it was super popular back then. A competitor of Supreme's in the fashion space was another company called Bape or Bathing Ape. I'm sure some of y'all are familiar with Bape and Supreme. Both were super popular in hip hop. I think the first person I ever seen wearing Bape was Biggie, and then I remember seeing clips at some point wearing Bape as well, Lil Wayne. The same with Supreme. Tons of people have wore it throughout the year, and his entire thing was he would walk around the streets of New York City and he would harass people that were wearing Supreme and then basically shout out Bape in the process. This is what his content looked like.
Nigga ran in the store, Supreme. Nigga, in front of me, I'm gonna give him more hours, cause I'm gonna be here every day. Saying this happened. I ain't gonna violate it yet. He a cool dude. Then Supreme bag. Get bag, homie. What up? I don't care. Banging on my chest. Get staticky. You already know. I'm static. What's up, nigga? The 8 is here. Banging on my chest. Wearing your hat. Yeah, take it off. Nah. Take it off right now. I'm taking it off. Nah. Boy. Supreme hat. I don't man. It's a dog. Supreme. You. Yo. I'm violating all Supreme. Google me, dripping and shit. Supreme, homie. Yeah? Supreme, nigga. Now brand that shit. Yeah? Nigga, the plane laughing. Niggas ain't playing with you.
He's still being
The trick that, man. You know what I do best. Bang on my chest, man. Supreme, man. Gang out here. This got Supreme on too, man.
Yo, bro. Yeah, you gotta do it to him if you gonna do it to me, bro. Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck. Get that shit out of here, man.
Put that shit in your bag.
Nigga try to meet up, sell that bum ass. Supreme, man. Supreme, man. You don't know who you talking to?
No,
they
man.
Ain't Supreme.
My wife said,
yo, tell your wife don't buy that shit no more,
what's
man.
Good, then? What's good?
Supreme, man. Ape out here.
It's a hat, sir?
Got this going on, man.
You don't wear that, bro. Tell me what's good. I don't.
Supreme.
Quiet so far. What's good? What's good?
You gonna see, man. He wearing that, man.
Days a day, bro.
Yeah,
Yo.
Supreme, man.
And I apologize about the audio quality on that. He had a lot of beats and stuff in the background of them videos. I had to take the beats out because YouTube be tripping on the copyrights. But you can see his whole spiel was to walk around and harass anybody that was wearing Supreme. Pretty much his whole gig was he would see somebody rocking Supreme and be like,
you know, I don't know these niggas, man. Who is y'all niggas, B? I don't know these niggas, man. I'm gonna keep it real. So listen, I know my PO gonna want to talk to me later. No, I don't know these niggas, man. I don't know them niggas.
Now, I know it's ridiculous, but in the early 2010s, mid 2010s, it was easy to make a come up doing content like this. Nowadays, you see this type of behavior everywhere with the rise of streaming, but back then it was less frequent. And so it had more of a shock value to it. And because of that, he was able to start building a name and building a brand for himself online, which resulted in some absolutely crazy clips. Like eventually he got tired of harassing the people on the streets and decided he was just gonna go into the Supreme stores themselves and start ransacking the store while beating on his chest and hollering about Supreme.
I'm gonna tell you what's going on. Supreme. I'm an 8. That's the bouncer. I'm at Supreme right now. Screaming. Niggas working here. Supreme. I'm an 8. You want me to get up? I'm saying Supreme. Supreme, this bouncer. Got it. He's a and I'm gangster. What up? Ape out here. Call the cops. Call you. Get off of work. I'm from this hood too. What's up? The Ape is here. What's up? Banging on my chest. What up? The Ape is here. Yeah. Okay. What I'm saying. Thank you. Out here. No, the counselor, with the manager.
The more clout that this dude got from doing this type of activity, the more he did it. It got so bad that Bape themselves had to come out and address it, and they posted this right here up on X. This said, recently there were incidents where certain individuals causing social media frenzies by creating nuisance to other brands. We are not in any way associated with those individuals, and we do not endorse such disrespectful behavior. Right, bro is clearly a troll, but he just kept it going. Like I said, the more clout he got from it, the more he wanted to push this. At one point, he even walked around and replaced the billboards that Supreme was putting up in New York City with billboards of his own face.
I'm gonna tell you what's going on. Fuck Supreme, I'm a hate, nigga.
And as ridiculous as it sounds, this entire thing was working for YM Bape. I mean, at one point, he had shut down an entire block in New York City with people chanting for him. He was going around doing his regular of Supreme, shout out to Bape, banging on my chest routine. It was crazy. Snatching a kid up out the crowd is fucking wild, bro. Dude really thought he was Michael Jackson out here. That's craziness. The dude was everywhere. If you were in New York City during this period of time, you likely seen or ran into this guy on the streets. Nobody was safe, not even celebrities. In one video, you can see he ran up on Jonah Hill because Jonah Hill was wearing Supreme, and he puts his arm around him. He's doing this whole thing, bro, and Jonah Hill looks terrified. Y'all look at this.
Got the big Supreme. He my man. I ain't gonna violate, but fuck Supreme. Supreme K. We out here. Banging on my chest. You gonna hear about me soon. I'm violating on Supreme. I'm out here. We out here. We out here.
Jonah Hill looks absolutely terrified right there at the end of that clip. But anyways, because he was out here in these New York streets and he was running up on anybody and everybody that was wearing it, this was bound to go left for him at some point, and it eventually did. At one point, we seen him walk up on another internet personality, a dude that goes by the name of It's Rax. He approached him. He started doing his regular routine, and these two got into an actual fist fight. Obviously, I'm not gonna play the fist fight here on YouTube, but they got into an actual fist fight over it.
Media shit, bro. Yes, you is, bro. Yes, you is.
How'd you figure that?
Because I'm finna tell you and I'm trying to give you some game and you're not even listening.
You throwing shots.
Nobody threw no shots at you. Nobody threw shots at you, bro. Nobody threw shots at you, bro. Nobody threw shots at you. I know your name, bro. I've been knew who you was. If I had a problem pulling up, nothing, my nigga, because I didn't throw no shots at you and I'm talking to you man to man right here.
Oh, you throwing shots at your brand, but you ain't throwing
ain't nobody throwing. Nobody threw no shots at you, my nigga. What you mean, my nigga? You ain't saying nothing either. There ain't no Supreme shit right now, my nigga. I got some Supreme on right here, my.
Right there at that moment, these two started throwing hands with each other. Right, it's a crazy situation, but it's bound to happen when you're walking around pressing any and everybody who's wearing a piece of clothing that you don't like. And there's more to the whole clothing story and why he was doing this in the first place that I'll touch on in a minute. But that fight isn't the only real life consequence that this dude faced. He was actually arrested at one point during all of this. Right, you can see the police grab him, throw him up on a car. They arrest him for his behavior.
Oh shit. Oh shit, it's going down. Oh geez. Oh shit! Oh shit!
Yo. Why y'all taking me forward?
Oh geez. Yo, he turned about his car. That's that Benz. That Benzo. I know. Oh D.
Yo, kids make it out, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Yo.
God damn, y'all see this?
Yeah, we got some bullshit,
Funny story for y'all real quick. During this arrest, people were obviously standing around, taking pictures, taking videos. And one of these videos hit the internet, and you can see right here in this screenshot that while he was being arrested, he was also wearing Supreme boxers, right? Which fans quickly pointed out is awfully hypocritical of him, but not one to take the criticism lightly. He responded. He posted this right here up on Instagram showing the Supreme boxers, and he said in the caption, "Y'all wonder why I wear these boxers? Ask Supreme why they on my and why I keep shitting on them." Hey, bro was nothing else. He was funny sometimes, right? So now you guys should be super familiar with this guy if you weren't already. That's his entire thing. That's what he's got going on. But the reason why we're talking about him today, truthfully, is because he was just sentenced to 28.5 years in prison for a conspiracy to commit murder plot, right? Apparently, when he wasn't out in the New York streets harassing people, he was involved with some actual real life street activity. So first off, one of the reasons why he was doing this of Supreme and rocking the whole Bape brand thing is because of his gang ties, right? I don't know how familiar y'all are with my channel, but I made a documentary about Casanova 2 times, maybe a month or 2 ago. And in that documentary, we covered the untouchable Gorilla Stone Nation, which is a blood set out of New York. They call themselves the Apes. Bape's logo for their clothing is an ape. Some of their catchphrases are phileo, banging on my chest, dragging my knuckles, things like that. This is the type of lingo that you'll hear members from the untouchable Gorilla Stone Nation say. Something that YM Bape obviously made a part of his entire spiel, this whole thing that he had going on. Honestly, it's pretty clever to play on Bape, the banging on my chest, the of Supreme. The way that he used it all to go viral is kind of clever. But the untouchable Gorilla Stone Nation is a serious gang, a violent gang in New York City that has a lot of members. They're most often identified by their use of the term phileo.
I'm dragging my knuckles, I'm beating my chest. We screaming phileo. We catching you like it, we spinning your block. We letting that Drake go. Wherever we at, we turning it up. We screaming phileo. They rolling with us, they loving the game. They screaming phileo. I'm dragging my knuckles, I'm beating my chest. We screaming phileo.
They want peace, but I want smoke again. She say, Leo, you won't never see your hoe again. She won't follow the dreams.
CC, we outside?
Right now, I've seen some people dispute the fact that this guy was affiliated with the untouchable Gorilla Stone Nation online. But I mean, bro, if you jump over to his Instagram, you can see he's got posts like this one right here showing him in jail. And right over here in the comments, you can see the very first thing is free Leo. You know, like a full Leo. He's got comments like this, free that ape. Even his mama was in the comments talking about my big ape, my world, my heart. I love you always, mama ape. God damn. So I don't really think it's up for debate whether or not he was affiliated. So pretty much this entire thing that he had going on, it was basically one big gang joke that caught some viral traction and gave this dude an online presence. We seen him get a shout out on XXXTentacion song 888 Infinity with Joey Badass. He actually did a show with XXXTentacion. We seen him with Playboy Cardi and numerous other artists. But this street side of his life would catch up with him. And on April 18th, 2019, YM Bape was ambushed and shot 3 times near the intersection of Pitt and Delancey Street in Manhattan.
Guys, keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. Homie just got shot, yo, right in front of the studio. Yo, they just shot YM Bape. I don't know, man. I'm on the block, Lower East Side. I don't know, y'all know that kid who be taking people's Supreme hats and stomping on them and shit. YM Bape. Y'all seen him online on World Star. They just shot him out in front of the studio.
YM Bape would go on Instagram and make this post right here showing him in a hospital bed with a caption that quoted 50 Cent's Mini Men song. First comment on here says, laughing my ass off, you got shot because you a dumb who run up on people. But the truth is that it turns out he was actually shot over unrelated activity, something that had absolutely nothing to do with the whole Bape Supreme thing that he had going on. He was having a feud with another dude from a rival housing project on the Lower East Side. Now, he would survive this attempt on his life, and I would say that this marked a turning point in his trajectory, but he was already a menace. He actually got a No Jumper interview at one point where he talked with Adam 22 about his whole career, and after he was shot, No Jumper debuted a music video for a song titled Fresh Start, and this music video was actually shot in the hospital while he was recovering. And at the end of it, you could see how he was acting with the hospital staff and the police, who eventually showed up to shut his little music video shoot down. Y'all look at him.
By lying to me in my face. So why shouldn't I disrespect you? All four of y'all could get on my dick. With this Emmy and all that, we could get crazy up in here. I've been in jail, I've been up north, I ain't scared of no cops, I ain't scared to get arrested. We don't want that. All right then.
Can't close the door. Can't
close the door. You don't really want that? I'll fuck you up, word too.
Bro is truly a menace to society, and in the weeks following his shooting, he proved that to the entire world. Because being who he is, after he got shot, he wanted his get back. He wanted payback, retribution. And so he started hatching a plan to orchestrate the murder of the guy who he believed shot him. Now, instead of doing it himself, he actually decided that he was going to go through a third party to do this, aka he was going to put a hit on somebody. And in 2019, June, one of his accomplices, a dude named Malik Facey, also known as Kodak on the streets, offered to do the killing for a fee. On June 22nd, 2019, at roughly 3 in the morning, Kodak texted YM Bape proposing the murder of his rival for about $1,000 to $2,000, which is pennies. Honestly, hearing that is crazy. People are willing to do anything for just any amount of money, but YM Bape accepted the offer without hesitation and effectively hired this dude Kodak as his hitman. A week before all of this, Kodak had attempted to purchase a firearm, which dinged in the government system. A week later, he proposes that he do it for $1,000 or $2,000 to YM Bape. And a few hours after that, they met up, as well as meeting again a few days later before the shooting would took place. So on July 12, 2019, YM Bape connected with a group of individuals and associates, and this is coming directly from the press, including another guy named Vasquez, through several phone calls and text messages, and continued to plot this murder. YM Bape also met up with other co-defendants prior to the shooting that he eventually gets arrested for taking place. YM Bape ordered a taxi for Kodak, who was dressed in a hooded sweatshirt, so he could meet up with this other guy Vasquez and another dude named Young near the Gompers houses, which is a project housing unit in New York. When Kodak arrived, Vasquez and Young changed into hooded sweatshirts before hailing a cab to travel to the Walled house, which is where his rival lived at. This article says, in the early morning hours of July 13, 2019, the crew arrived in the area behind an apartment building near East Houston Street and Avenue D and walked by a guy named James Weeks. James Weeks was a 35-year-old who was from the area. James Weeks wasn't the intended target. At approximately 2:40 in the afternoon, Weeks left his friend's house, walked towards his car that was parked nearby, and from approximately 150 feet away, Kodak fired several shots towards Weeks, who was struck in the face by one of the bullets, causing him to fall to the ground. The crew then fled the scene, and Weeks was eventually transported to the hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Following the shooting, police said that the guys who did this had downloaded the Citizen app to keep tabs on any public reports that were coming out about this case. Apparently, there was a screenshot of an Instagram story that was posted by YM Bape's Opps that said that this Weeks guy was just an innocent bystander. Kodak and Vasquez were both arrested in July of 2019. The other guy, Young, was arrested in September of 2019, and YM Bape apparently called and visited each one of them while they were incarcerated and continued to actively plan the murder of his rival even after they had killed an innocent bystander and been arrested. In one instance, on January 17, 2020, YM Bape called Kodak, who was in jail, so this is on a jail phone call, and during the recorded call, YM Bape said in substance, "Yo, this is YM Bape, I got got a heavy cash app on someone in your crib right now. I'm not talking about no $100, no $200. Right now, I got 4 bands on the cash app right now. I need it to happen, gangster. I'll send half up front, and when it gets done, I'll send the other half, gangster. Right? That's crazy. Bro was communicating with his shooters while they were in jail, talking about he wanted to do it again. YM Bape was eventually arrested in December of 2021. The prosecutor said Anthony Lopez, that's YM Bape, went to great lengths to seek retribution and bloodshed, and his fixation ultimately led to the death of a completely innocent man. I hope the significant state prison term that Lopez will serve gives Mr. Weeks' family a sense of justice and peace. Combating gun violence continues to be my top priority, and we are laser focused on shootings involving retribution and retaliation. Now, bro would sit in jail waiting on trial for the next 4 years. But in March of this year, on March 14th, he was sentenced to 28 and a half years to life in prison for his role in this conspiracy to commit murder. So he's pretty much going to be in there for the rest of his life. The other guys, Christopher Vasquez was sentenced to 25 years to life in prison. David Young was sentenced to 10 years in state prison. And Kodak was convicted on all counts, including murder and conspiracy. Was scheduled to be sentenced in April. I looked, I couldn't find how long he was sentenced to. I guess they just gave up on that. But yeah, that's the story. That's what we got. YM Bape, 28 and a half years to life in prison for this whole thing right here. Crazy, crazy story. But y'all gotta let me know what y'all think about it in the comments down below. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, tap the notification bell so you get notified every time I upload a video. And as always, it's been fun rocking with y'all, man. I'm out.